Now, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has announced the suspension of its two-week warning strike, which began on October 13, 2025. Addressing a press briefing in Abuja, ASUU President Professor Piwuna says the suspension of the warning strike, which was due to expire next Monday, follows renewed commitments from the federal government to address key issues raised by the union. Now, the ASUU president says the decision to suspend the strike has nothing to do with the ministry's efforts and that this is the first time in 8 years that the federal government was bringing a counter offer different from the long-standing demands contained in the 2009 federal government ASUU agreement.
The Ministry of Education has failed woefully in addressing our issues, and we hope that this suspension will give them an opportunity to go back and look at these items. The third-party deductions that we talked about, our pension, promotion arrears, all these things they promised to do, they have not done any. So Nigerians would even wonder, if that is the case, why are we suspending the action? But we are suspending the action because we have seen goodwill on the part of the government and the appeal by individuals. You know, the Deputy Senate President personally discussed this matter with us. NLC, like I said, and honestly, we think it will also help our students and their parents that they see that we are happy to come back to work. We are ready to resolve this matter, and if it is looked from that perspective, I think even our members will understand why we had to take this decision. As you are aware, the minister was not in the country when all this was happening. He's back, and we hope that he will look at that issue of no work, no pay. But to be honest with you, the issue of no work, no pay was a non-issue to us. It was not something that played any role in our decisions. And we even think that it was, whether it is lack of advice or we really can't place our fingers on why the Ministry of Education took that action on day one, which shows bad faith. They were not ready to discuss with us. And so they decided they were going to issue threats. Well, we were not threatened. Like I said, we've taken this action based on those who have appealed to us, and we believe that this atmosphere is suitable, is conducive for our further discussions with the alleged Yahya Ahmed.
Joining us tonight to provide updates on the suspended warning strike by university lecturers across the country and highlight what gains, if any, have been achieved from the industrial action is President, Academic Staff Union of Universities, otherwise known as ASUU, Professor Piwuna, who joins us from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Great. I'm sure Nigerian students and parents would be happy despite, the academic calendar being disrupted. But let me ask you, because earlier today during the press conference, you said the objective of the warning strike has been partly achieved. Those were your words. So tell us, what did you achieve and what commitment did you get from government to convince you to suspend the strike?
Thank you very much. Our union believes that objective has been partly achieved. And one of the reasons why we said so is because each time you go on a warning strike, your intention is to draw attention to the issues that are, between you and whoever you're discussing with. In this case, our employer. And so when we say our objective has been partly achieved, we have been able, through the ultimatum and the strike, to get the federal government's negotiating team to come back to the table to discuss with us substantive issues, in our agreement. And when we presented our position on all the issues, they came back with a counter or their own position on each of those issues. And so that opened the door for more discussions, for us to engage with them and let them know what our position is on each of those issues and what they think. So we consider that to be a major achievement. It's a major achievement because for the past 8 years, from 2017 to date, this is the first time. This didn't happen with Babalakin's committee. It did not happen with Professor Munzali's committee. It did not happen with Professor Onimibrik's committee. It is only happening now. So we consider this to be an achievement. Indeed, we think this would have happened before this strike. If government had listened and agreed to engage with us, this strike would have been avoided. But it is what it is now. We have passed that stage. We are now discussing, and so we consider it an achievement. We also consider it an achievement in terms of our objective, because one of the key demands of our strike was that government should start to pay the third-party deductions. As at yesterday when we met, a number of our branches have confirmed that they have received their check-off dues, even though the figure is not exactly what they expected. Branches that expected 20 million naira, they got 5 million naira. Branches that expected 3 or 5 million naira got 700 or 800,000 naira. But we think that is part of what we need to see. We can now correct and inform government that this is not what the figure should be, and then it will be corrected. We also have assurance from government that from today, Wednesday, more payments will come to our members, and we have engaged the chairman of the federal government's team, Alhaji Ali Ahmed, and he has promised to go around all the agencies to ensure that our promotion arrears, he gets a feedback on it. He gets a feedback on the 25-35% salary increase. He's going to get a feedback to us on our pension deductions. By the way, IPPIS is owing us about 2.8 billion naira, of our pension. And we believe that they should just take that money wherever it is and hand it over to us. It's not something that they will give us in bits and pieces. Our money is 2.8 billion naira, and we expect them to give us the 2.8 billion naira. We also have issues of the 3.5 months withheld salaries. That is one matter that we're not going to let go. We believe that that money has to be paid to us because we have done the job for that period. We also hope that in the days ahead, now that we've suspended the action, government would be able to come clearly to tell us where they stand about our 2009 agreement, how they intend to complete it. Nobody is talking about no work, no pay. And I want to restate it for the uptenth time. We are not scared of anybody who thinks he wants to withhold our salaries. We have come back to work out of goodwill. We had appeals from the chairman of the federal government's team. He was very passionate about wanting us to come back to conclude this agreement. We also had appeals from Nigerian Labour Congress. Labour Congress has shown us unprecedented support, in our struggle. And so to honor these people, but even more importantly, like you started, our students and their parents, we want to go back to school. We want to go back to our classrooms. We want them to learn, and we can assure them that they would always be a priority now that we are back to work.
All right, thank you very much for that. Well, you seem to have a lot of confidence that the federal government will, show goodwill since you've decided to suspend this 2-week warning strike. I wonder what, what's the basis of your confidence, and what's the guarantee that ASUU will not, take us back to a strike situation. Look, between 1999 and 2022 alone, 4 years have been lost in Nigeria's tertiary institutions. I wonder, how do you fix the damage, that's already been done? And again, you don't seem to have confidence in the Minister of Education. You did say that, look, this resolution has absolutely nothing to do with the ministers, that's Tunji Alausa's intervention in the situation.
Well, first of all, my optimism about what's about to happen is because of those who have intervened. You know the history of Alhaji Yahya Ahmed in government and his age. We don't think he would want to put his name to anything that will destroy whatever he has built over the years. We also have had contacts with people that are outside government, but they are notable individuals. They are highly respected, venerated elders in the society. They have spoken to us. They have intervened at different levels. We also have the support of the Nigerian National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, from all their releases so far. NANS have not blamed us for anything. That to us means they believe that our struggle is legitimate, it is genuine, but they wouldn't want a strike action. And we have decided to suspend the strike action because of these expectations from different quarters. What do I think about strikes and how do we intend to fix it? Honesty, sincerity, trust. If those ingredients are there, we would be sure that we can move on and get all of this behind us. There are so many problems in the health sector, and ASUU is willing to stand side by side with this government to ensure that these challenges are resolved. Government cannot solve all the problems of Nigeria. Government cannot solve all the problems of Nigerians, but through education, they can address all these issues. And so we're trying to make them realize that education is the most important tool they need to address all these issues around us. They can't address the issue of nurses, doctors, people in research institutes, all over the country. They can't address all the issues. But if they educate the citizenry, if they give education the priority it deserves, then they would have gone, it would be a great step, a major step, in resolving all of these problems. As for the Minister of Education and the Ministry of Education, there's nothing personal. We don't want to refer to Dr. Tunji Alausa as a person. Like I've said in previous interviews, he's our minister. The president has appointed him to preside over the Ministry of Education. We want to support him. We will support him. But it's obvious that the ministry is slow in responding to our problems. That is the major problem that we have with the ministry. Beyond that, I believe if we have any differences with the minister or specific organs of the ministry, when we meet with them and we get opportunities to meet with them. And that is the problem.
All right. So are you telling us there'll be no more strikes, no more ASUU strikes? Can you tell us, can you guarantee that there'll be no more ASUU strikes?
I think you should ask the Minister of Education that question. He needs to answer whether there will be strikes or not. On our part, we are not willing to embark on any strike. They are the ones that always push us to a strike. So if you want any guarantees about strike or no strike in Nigeria, the Minister of Education is the right person to ask that question.
All right. Professor Chris Piwuna is the president of the umbrella body for university lecturers in Nigeria, ASUU. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight.